Gentlemen, it's time for Running Your DJ Business with KC and Brian B.
Brian B is in the house, folks. For those of you that don't know who my next guest, he's the original co-host of this show.
Yeah.
He used to be on a long time ago, and then he got rich and famous.
Yeah.
Brian B official is back, folks.
Daddy's home. No more when the cat's wet. You know how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Although big props to Nick Spinelli for filling in.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He was fantastic. We had like 6 viewers with him as opposed to our typical 3. So we'd like to say thank you to his brother, sister, and mom for tuning in as well.
Yeah, no, he was great. You guys did a great job.
Did you watch the show or hear it?
I did. Post show. I was in Annapolis last weekend doing a knot workshop after party. So it was full day and night, and then I've been on the road ever since. Did a wedding in North Carolina over the weekend, which was great. And the mountains, 60 degrees, feeling amazing.
Did you get permission from Joe Bunn? Isn't that his neck of the woods?
No, he's down in Raleigh. This is up actually it's northwest of him. So it was awesome. It was beautiful. And then been in Florida doing sales meetings. Started in Key West and worked my way all the way up the state to the Northwest Panhandle. So that's where I'm at tonight. Go home tomorrow after a couple of meetings. So
very good.
What about you?
Well, we have officially purchased Premier Bride Magazine Chicago. So I am back on the street, visiting venues, visiting bridal salons.
Nice.
Yeah, I've spent less time in my chair, I'd say, in the last week. That I haven't been out this much in forever. It's actually a nice feeling.
Right.
The weather's been terrific, so I've had the sunroof open on my car and
perfect.
Just kind of enjoying things. So yeah,
I haven't been seeing any of your Insta stories. Have you been? You've been kind of documenting. You haven't been documenting any of this.
No, I don't need to. I'm going to go to the bathroom in a second. We're going to throw that on Insta story.
Okay. Yeah.
Some things I don't know now, but my Instagram, if you see Premier Bride Chicago, I've been crushing that pretty good, and Marquis been pretty good too.
Yeah,
we've been pushing since you've been away. I went ahead and started begging vendors, awesome disc jockey professionals, for help. As you know, I do my annual toy drive every single year, and I always think of how can I make it bigger? How can I make it bigger? So this year I got inspired by the Canadian Professional DJ Association that did an online auction. As well as John's auction last August to help the hurricane victims down in Texas.
Right.
So this year, I've started hitting up vendors, and I'm very excited to let you know.
Right.
Actually, go to my Marquee Facebook page so I don't forget anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that I hit them all. But with just a few emails, and then I've got to do some more I got some handshakes at DJ Expo. But let's take a quick look. I am super pumped, as Jason Jen I would say, to have some really dope people that have helped me out. And
ouch,
I don't forget it. So Electra Voice donated an EV-ND86 microphone, which was very nice. American DJ Association donated a 3-year national membership. Photo Booth Association donated a 3-year national membership. Promo Only donated 10 specialty video downloads. Blizzard Lights sent me 5 of their, BAMPAR RGBs for the auction. Our good friends at Disc Jockey News, John Young, donated a bundle of services and some incredible swag. Mike Weeder in Atlantic City was kind enough to donate a copy of his book, Be the Difference Maker. Randy Bartlett's donated his entire DVD collection. Our boy Joe Bunn was kind enough to do some videos, some hats, some tees. And then we've got your boy Michael from Vibo donated a 1-year subscription to Vibo, which was terrific. And then Jim Tremaine, the editor at DJ Times, was kind enough to give 2 passes and some T-shirts for the 2019 DJ Expo. So we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at October 1st to go live with whatever it is that we collect. And I have to knuckle down and do some more emails to good friends and see what our friends at Chauvet and ADJ and RCF and JBL and everybody else are hopefully going to choose to step up and regardless if they do or they don't, I'm very grateful to everybody. But I'm hoping that we can raise about $10,000 when all is said and done, when we're all in and stuff. So it'll buy a lot of bikes, hats, gloves, mittens. For those of you watching, trust me, we'll spam the crap out of it, and you'll hear about it. So please keep your eyes peeled. October 1st. So, and yes, it's marquee, but it's really an industry thing. Obviously, with our Midwest DJs Live have given me a verbal commitment. Shannon from Wedding MBA has. So we've got so many people that it's not really a marquee thing. It really is in my opinion, it's really an industry thing. So I'm extremely grateful to the industry so far, and I'm super excited about everyone that's going to hopefully come out and bid and get some good stuff and help some families in need this Christmas.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So how are you saving the world today?
Well, one post at a time. One post at a time. Yeah.
There we go.
I'm staying
Would that
true to this
post be on
topic.
Facebook or on Instagram? Should we dive right in?
Yeah, I think we should, man. I think this is a great topic. I mean, I think it's something that's not talked about often. Social media is, but in particular, I think Instagram is really like starting to kind of pave the way for especially the event industry and what we do as DJs. I think it's one of those platforms that seems to be just taking off, and at least in the event space, everybody's kind of on it. So I was looking at your posts and things that you've been putting out there, and you've got a lot of people you're following, and you're gaining followers too.
Correct.
But how do you feel about your engagement? Do you feel like you're getting traction with that stuff? Do you think it matters? Do you care?
I'll be honest. Again, I'm 49. I don't look it, of course. I'm like
not at all.
Youthful 25-year-old in looks.
Yeah.
That looks like that he got eaten by a 49-year-old. But no, so the reality is that I personally enjoy Facebook more because I like to have conversations. I like to supply links. I like to post videos more than 90 seconds. So for me, my personal platform of choice is Facebook. So I've been reluctant to get more involved because of my own problem. And that's one of the biggest problems that business owners make, is that we sell the way that we buy. And I think that we want people to adapt to us. We don't want to adapt to them. And ever since I got involved with the Premier Bride organization, I've seen this a lot. And so my focus really is going to be as active on both platforms. So if you take a look at our Premier Bride Chicago one, it's nothing to write home about yet, but we have 392 followers. We're strategically following 2,612.
Right.
And today we had 14 likes. Yesterday we had 30. Day before we had 26. One of our little ideas had 69. So, you know what? Part of it is how creative it is, and we are recycling some of the stuff that I've used for Windy City Wedding Show that I just thought were really clever memes or clever pictures, or it's all inspirational. So I think the things that we're getting the least amount of hits on is anything that's like advertorial. So when I'm trying to push our bridal shows, it's probably the least popular of our stuff. But people want to look and smile and then move on, and I'm cool with that.
Right. So. Well, and I think like it's you've always been pretty good about being cognizant of this, but I think it's important that if you yourself, it's one thing if you don't want to make it your platform of choice personally. But as a business, if you want to stay relevant with the brides you're attracting, you have to throw that to the side. And if you're not going to do it, you got to get somebody in your office to do it.
Right.
And be active on that, or you're going to miss out on opportunities that you may not have gotten elsewhere. And at some point you'll become irrelevant, and you don't want that.
No. And it's interesting because I just had this conversation for those of us that don't want to move into the millennial, mindset. And that's this. So this is the way that I personally am viewing things. You grew up in a certain neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that neighborhood is starting to change. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just changing, okay?
Right.
And so what's happening now is, let's just say for the sake of argument, you have a whole bunch, I'm in Chicago, so a whole bunch of Polish people are now moving into what used to be a mixed neighborhood, and you have lots and lots of people speaking Polish, and you don't speak Polish around you. The fact of the matter is you are looking to, what do you call it? You either adapt and learn the language to the neighborhood you live in,
right?
Or you move, or you just find yourself not communicating.
Right.
And so if you're a business in that neighborhood, you're going to find yourself in a world of trouble. And so the fact of the matter is, while it's not necessarily my platform, and I say that for a lot of reasons, because I personally like typing more than just a few things. I'd rather cut and paste hashtags that I know are the most popular to do it quickly, because I'm doing it quickly and on the fly. And I've got big sausage fingers, so on my smartphone, I just don't care for it much. So I'm learning to adapt, and our engagement has been really fantastic in the last 3 or 4 weeks since I've made this commitment. And I'll tell you, Nick Spinelli was one of the guys. Last week when we were talking, was it last week? I think it was last week that Nick was on, when he was talking about social media, and he said Instagram's number one. When we got off air, I'm like, do you really think Instagram's number one? And he goes, yeah, I really do. And I'm like, okay. Did some looking around, and an example is the Knot has 1.4 million Instagram followers, whereas Facebook only has 750 something. So there's no question that the millennials, let's say, just using that as a random source, there's no question that there's more of that age demographic on Instagram than there is on Facebook right now.
Well, and I mean, from an event standpoint, you said it earlier on about you liking to have more conversation, meaning with typing things and kind of sharing your thoughts. That's great on a personal note, but as an event company, you want to be able to see things, whether that's a video or photography or whatever of those events happening, especially as DJs. You have to showcase what you do. I can tell you all you want in a paragraph, but that's not going to be sexy. People aren't going to look at that. They're not going to read it. They just aren't. People's attention spans are so small.
And they're getting smaller because of things like this.
Right. Okay. So you have to adapt. You can't just be like, hey, let me write a recap on my blog and just kind of put that out there, and hopefully everybody will read it. It's really changing how people are finding things too.
Think about your father at our age. Reading the newspaper cover to cover. Okay. Right. If you gave a newspaper that thick to a millennial and said, you're going to read this essentially over your morning breakfast, they'd have 3 days worth of work. They wouldn't know how to adapt to it.
Right.
And I think it's just because they're so used to getting snippets of stuff, which in the news world is sometimes good and sometimes bad, because let's face it, everybody's got an agenda, and that's just the way that it is. But that's in that world. It's easier for me, truthfully, from a Premier Bride, from a Windy City Wedding Show, from a Badger State Bridal Expo, to find great content that I know is going to be engaging than in the DJ world. Because honestly, I don't know about you, I am so sick and tired of, oh, look, here's my table with shit on it. Oh, look, here's the same room I've been in 15 times, but this time it's purple as opposed to last time when it was green. Okay? It's the same things. And if I have to see one more DJ giving me 30 seconds of people dancing to Love Shack, and then they do this. Oh, yeah. Guess what? The lead singer of the B-52s isn't acting that stupid. on stage. Why are you doing it? You're playing their song. You're not even, what are you calling it? You're not even, performing it. It just, to me. So.
Right. Well, that kind of doesn't really, I don't think, matter the platform. That's just, awareness of what you're posting, regardless of platform.
Sure.
So I think it's more, to kind of break down a little bit of Instagram for those that maybe aren't using it to its fullest capability, they've really integrated a bunch of different features. They have now the general posting, which has always been there, so your feed, if you will, and those can now be photo or video. But the kind of the newer pieces to it that they've added, and actually, I don't know what's happening.
Where'd you go?
But did I lose you?
Yeah.
Did I lose you?
No, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on. The internet must be down at the beach. I have no idea.
It's Facebook interfering, telling you not to talk about it.
Yeah. Are you not seeing me at all?
Oh, I don't know. I went to go check the comments. No, you're there.
Okay. Sorry, it's just darker because of this. I don't know what happened with the lighting here. But anyway, what I was going to say is,
how you need your lighting.
Yeah.
Jody made a comment about how I'm killing her with this age thing.
Yeah.
I have to say is, Jody, when you get to be your age, there's no reason to be sensitive. You still look great for 60.
Right.
So, I'm sure I'm going to get a comment now.
But anyway, I was going to say that they've added two other features that over the last year and a half have been big. And the first is the Insta Stories, which is kind of more behind the scenes, or in the acronym world, BTS, right? So you can kind of, whereas your feed is kind of more of a permanent thing, they kind of stole the Insta Story thing from Snapchat, clearly. Sure. But it's a great way to kind of know what's happening behind someone's day and really get to know them personally, I think, more than the feed. The feed can kind of be, I don't want to say fake, but it can really be curated super well, whereas this Insta Story allows you to kind of be a little bit more real and raw. But the best thing I think they've added is something called highlights. Are you familiar with the highlights at all?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so highlights on your profile are basically your ability to take your story and keep it permanently in a highlight section.
Okay.
So for instance, let's say I had a crazy awesome party. I'm putting some stuff that's behind the scenes. I can then at some point add it to my highlights, and I can have 3 or 4 different things down there that could be highlights. I could have actually more than that. But let's say it's a great after party. I can call it that, and people can go to my highlights and watch those things and see something that's like, they don't have to go search through a bunch of minutia to find kind of what I'm highlighting, if you will. And you can switch those things out as you want. So in essence, what I feel like is that Instagram is soon going to probably, if it hasn't already, replace websites, because it's got everything your website's going to need. You got contact information, you have bios, you have all of that in a curated spot, especially for DJs and event professionals. It's all in one spot.
I'm gonna separate. You keep saying DJs and event professionals, and that's where I'm going to stop you, because while I agree that DJs are a part of it, the problem is this, and I guess this is my big issue with a lot of DJs in the industry. They post the same 6 freaking things. Okay? Which is like, honestly, if the best footage that you can show me from your wedding is people doing the cha-cha slide or doing the Cupid shuffle, like, seriously, like, and here's the thing, I'm all for that stuff. Mix it in, let mom and dad have a good time, or auntie and uncle. I'm totally down. Okay, I want people to have a good time.
Right.
However, like, if that's the best thing that you can show me, it just, to me, it's like, don't tell me how creative you are when that's the best thing that you're showing me.
Right.
If the best thing that you're showing me is a picture of your DJ system, and I can see that you have bad cable management.
Right.
Or I can see that your light show is a bunch of, it's like an LED Vertigo styled light that's just going to throw dots on the floor. Like, please don't. And listen, I know I'm a DJ snob, but it's it's the same shit over and over.
But here's my point. My point is this, though. I mean, that's again, curation of your material. What I'm trying to say, and that could be the same. You could say the same thing about someone's website. The same videos they're posting on their website, or all the cha-cha slide. That's a totally different subject. I think that's curation, which is a part of it, but I don't think that really is what we're trying, at least what I'm trying to say about what Instagram can do for you. I think in reality, millennials are not going to web pages. They're not going to websites. I don't even check a website when I'm looking for things. I find that as validation, and I'm kind of in a weird space because I'm obviously Gen X, but you know, I have millennial tendencies. So I
that means you
constantly
act like a child.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is I'm not going to websites at first when I'm looking for things. I'm usually going to my social channels, and I believe that that's where it's headed. So if we don't jump on that train, you could be left out of the dark and lose out on opportunities that you may not have. And so I think Instagram, having all of these well-developed, well-thought-through options and things to do on there, make it a very attractive platform for what we in the event world, or DJs, it doesn't matter what you do in the event space.
Right.
It's an attractive platform for that. Whereas Facebook, as great as that is, it is really tough because it's not curated. It's the way it's laid out is actually what I'm trying to mean here. The layout of Facebook is not as great for showcasing what you do as Instagram is.
See, and I disagree with that as far as what you can do, because yes, you have like what you have, but at the same point in time, you're limited to the length of your stories. You're limited to the length of the videos that you put in, and you don't have that with Facebook. And you and I talked about this earlier this week. I think the reason so many people, honestly, the millennials love Instagram is because of the algorithm, because you could post a picture of your cute little dog that you had the other day that you took pictures of, taking a dump in the middle of your carpet, and you're going to have 31 people like it in an hour. And that's just because of the algorithm. So, and you can do hashtag doggy poops, hashtag this, hashtag that.
But that's my point. My point is that because of the algorithm and the way that it's laid out, it's very easy to search and find things. That's
so then let me ask you this. If Facebook loosened their algorithm, do you think that they'd catch up?
No, I mean, it's just the way that it's laid out in the feed is more of like, they have to change a lot to catch up in that respect, I believe, because it's not functional from the standpoint of a marketing tool, I guess is the best way to describe it, or searchable tool. In other sense, meaning if I'm looking for something, I'm not going to go to Facebook and go in the search field of the news feed and look for hashtag dog, you know. But
that's good because they don't really work on hashtag principle.
They do actually. If you type in,
that's not the language of that platform,
right? But okay, so type. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you is that the searching mechanism is more why I think it's become more successful, because if I'm having my wedding at a certain location, it's very easy for me to find that. If I'm trying to find the latest, planner or whatever, it's very easy especially in the event space to find things in that realm. Whereas and so what I believe is that reviews are even going to go away soon because people are going to find that to validate it. It's going to be more important for you to have a relevant Instagram feed than your reviews, because that's going to be secondary. I find more and more people when I ask them, I go, hey, how did you find out about us? It's rarely about the review anymore. It's about, oh, hey, we found you on social. We saw your great event that you did last week. We have to have you. And so they're looking there first. Now, that's not to say that the reviews aren't important. It's just secondary. And same thing with the website. So I really believe that you're going to get more and more soon from Instagram, because the reality is millennials don't want to be preached at and marketed to. They want to feel like it's an organic find. That's why I think, paying money for a Facebook ad, it may work for a little while, but people, it's like I don't know, it just feels intrusive. Whereas with Instagram, when you find those things, it's like, oh, I found gold. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my take on it. And one of the things I've done with the highlights, which is kind of something new, I just actually stumbled on this yesterday of all things. So in my story, I had a fantastic review from a couple. It was really, really good. Like basically the guy, actually the client was actually the former speechwriter for Obama. So he's a real wordsmith. And some of his lines in there were great about how great I did and whatever. And so anyway, I put it in my story. I didn't want to make it a permanent part of the feed because I think people it just comes across as kind of like, again, it's text. It's not catchy. No one's going to look at that and go or be wanting to read it. Their attention span's so small. So anyway, I found a great spot for my reviews that are really like second to none. If if I have ones like that, I'm going to keep it as a highlight, and it's there permanently. And these are only going to be the best of the best reviews. And I thought, man, what a great way to now have my reviews as a highlight. It's going to be there permanently. I can take them down whenever I want and replace them with others. But if I've got like 5 or 6 killer reviews, I don't have to have them go find it on Wedding Wire somewhere and hope that they stumble across it. No, it's going to be something.
But let's be honest. Nobody's looking for Wedding Wire. Like, let's give credit where credit's due. Wedding Wire has done a very good job of being where brides are.
Right.
So if they search for B-Boy Productions, I'm going to guess that you come up on the same page with Wedding Wire.
Right. But my point is that I don't want them to, if they're finding it organically and they find DJs in New York City and they put in that hashtag, if I'm doing my job right and the hashtags are right and my engagement's strong, which it is, then all of a sudden they're going to find me organically a lot easier than they are through Wedding Wire. And the problem with Wedding Wire's reviews, again, go that they're not looking at it from my best interest personally of going, hey, let me highlight your top 5 reviews. I'm choosing that. I'm dictating what content they're finding once they find my page or once they find my thing, rather than having to rely on Wedding Wire to do that for me. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, it does. It totally does. And here's the thing: I'm not attempting to what do you call it? I'm not attempting to be an authority on it, and I'm certainly not resistant to it. I'm just, playing devil's advocate.
Right. No, there's no question. Right now, if you type that in Google, Wedding Wire and the Knot are doing a great job in that regard. But again, I go back to the point of very few millennials are going to search in Google wedding DJs, whatever. They're going to they may do that secondarily, but they're going to do social first. They're always going to see, oh, hey, my friend used so-and-so. They're spending so much time on social, and they're not going to be first, taking their first stab at it through a website. They just aren't. They're going to do it social first. That's why I feel like you're going to miss the boat if you're not doing it on the Instagram platform right off.
Well, I just searched DJs in NYC, and unfortunately, I've got bad news for you. You're just not here.
Well, that was a bad example. I don't.
You blew it. But
I don't use that hashtag.
Platinum Entertainment DJs, the ultimate VJ experience. 1-800-374-4797. They're up here.
Right. Yeah. I'm not using that hashtag, so that's not one of mine. But I was just using that as an example. But if you type in hashtag travel DJ, I'm one of the first ones up. So. That's the one I'm using. I'm going more after the destination market and not
travel DJ. 8,351 posts, and you're not actually.
If you typed in hashtag travel DJ, it should come right up.
Hashtag travel DJ.
Interesting, because it comes up number 1 for me on Google. That's interesting.
In Google or on Instagram?
Oh, I was saying on Google.
Oh, gotcha.
But
that's a pretty specific thing. But are we doing hashtag on Google? Or are we just trying
I was just doing hashtag travel, but I can.
Why would you do hashtag travel DJ in Google? Why would you use a hashtag?
I don't know. I just did it that way. I don't know.
Again, you're not talking the language of the platform, or in this case, the website.
But let me see here on the.
But DJ Tech Tools comes up number 1. Get paid to travel and DJ.
Right.
From November of 2008. So I'm sure this is very good, still relevant stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I realize that we live in a hashtag world, but I think that you have to speak the language of the platform.
Oh, I agree. 100%. Absolutely.
So let's see what people are saying here. Let's see. Chris Romeo. I think the problem is that you think the only people in the world are DJs. No, I don't think that. And I actually think differently. But again, even when I see photographers posting, and not so much photographers, let's say videographers posting the same stuff, it's just, I really don't care when a photographer or any event professional posts a picture of what the facility is serving them for dinner. Because they're either praising the fact that they got an amazing meal, or they're ripping on the venue for giving them a turkey club sandwich. I just don't care. And I can't imagine that, and let's be honest, if it's a great thing, then they hashtag or they say what venue they're at. If it's a crappy thing, it doesn't take much to figure out because they've already posted the outside of the building or pictures from the ballroom or what have you. So it's really simple to see who's mad at Acme Widget Hotel because of the fact that they just indirectly ripped them. So most of our feed are friends and others that are not DJs. It doesn't matter if it's the same stuff that gets watched. Okay, but if it's all the same, okay, in a world full of Kardashians, be a Princess Diana. So, Chris, I get it, but if you're doing the same thing every other DJ does, how are you any different? Let's take a look. Let's see. Chris Romero says you have control now. Jody doesn't think reviews are ever going away.
I disagree. I disagree 100%.
Chris wrote, there's a word out there. There's a world out there that loves hashtag dog shit. It's the unnerving truth, which is why people post everything and anything. But again, just because people do it doesn't mean that you should. And that's kind of the whole point. You know, if you're doing the same thing, what makes you different? And that's my whole thing. And that's where DJs all follow other DJs. I've never understood it. It's one thing to take a really good idea, but that's it. So, let's see. Jody wrote, burning question, why post your DJ monthly, for example, a September DJ event schedule on your Instagram? It seems to come across as a braggadouche. Is it? I don't know if this is douches or braggadocious thing. It could be one and the same because here's the whole thing. Let's just be honest about social media, and I wrote this a while ago.
Well, I want to answer a question too.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, for me, I do it because I want others to know that I am out there, mainly planners. I don't really care about the DJs knowing. That isn't really business. But if I am going to
everybody watching, Brian really doesn't care about you.
I meant from the standpoint of
I'm teasing.
But destination wise, that's what I'm trying to go after. So clearly I'm wanting to make sure that the planners and those that refer me, the building, those that are out there know that I'm performing at these locations around the country.
Right.
I mean, it may come across, I guess, braggish, but I definitely don't say, "Hey guys, check out my schedule. Know what I'm doing." No, I'm pretty bland when I say, "Here's my schedule for the month." I'm not trying to, and I think it's all about the way that it's worded too.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
But I'll say this: I've had brides. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like all of a sudden they think, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see your schedule with my name on it." That's what they tell me. I've had that happen a lot, and I'm like, okay, cool. If that makes them feel great, then awesome. I would be glad to put that out there. But
no, there's no question. And let's face it, in the 2 years or so that you've been even on the DJ scene at shows and speaking and that, there's no question when somebody says, "How do I get more jobs traveling?" Everyone's going to go, "Oh, you should talk to Brian Bonacisi. He totally knows." You know, you've become that travel DJ. There's no, like, that's your niche. There's no question. Like when I think of Vegas DJs in the mobile end, I think of Jody.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. So
totally.
But again, now the challenge becomes, and I think part of it's your first in market, which is fantastic. But at the same point in time, now you're going to see more and more of it. I think you're going to see more guys that want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with it. But
yeah, absolutely.
It's the old adage, being first in market.
Right.
But again, consistently differentiating yourself, you know, and
absolutely.
Like if I hear one more DJ tell me that they're a production company because they own 24 battery operated uplights, a Lico, and a Nimbus, I'm going to lose my mind.
And yeah, to be honest,
because you're a DJ company with extra stuff. What's that?
I was gonna say I don't even know really the difference between a production company and a DJ company. I mean, because the lines have been so blurred so many times. I've seen DJ companies call themselves production companies,
right? But the reality is, most of the time they're not. They're, you know, they might have one set of subs.
From the traditional sense of production, they're not.
Correct. I mean, they're not. But everyone's calling themselves that,
right?
Because they have two sticks of trust and two movers, and
Well,
and
yeah.
again, like do what you got to do, because I remember when I started back in the 80s, it was just I was a DJ,
Right.
but then everybody became a DJ, so I became a professional DJ company. Then I
Right.
became Premier Mobile Entertainment. Then it was
Well,
like your
event,
interactive blah blah blah.
then
And
the event group was another
yeah,
one.
that's a big one. So
And I'm like, I don't think people really care. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's just my own personal opinion, but I feel like that's little semantics.
Mhm.
If you're good at what you do, it's going to come out in what you're portraying online and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Now, I heard a guy who actually, are you familiar with the platform? What's it called now? Shoot. It's one where actually reporters, help a reporter out. What's that called? Can't think of what it is.
We talked about this once before.
Right. Gosh, and I'm
Here, let me Google it.
It's called Help a Reporter Out, but it's Haro. What am I saying? Haro. Sorry.
Right.
That's the name of it. That's the acronym. Anyway, the guy from there who kind of came up with this thing.
Yeah, hero.com.
Yeah, he was talking about reviews because in particular, and what's he feels the future of where that's going. And I'm not saying he's anybody, but he made a great point about how reviews are starting to become like everybody's got them, and so it's hard for a consumer to really know what's accurate and what's not, especially as they get more and more in there. And so what's really going to change, I think, in the future is that you're going to be using reviews from your friends, not from just some rando who's out there, because there's great ones. It's such a mixed bag that no one can really tell what's what. Is it really great? Is it not? And I think we had this conversation once before about what a $500 DJ's 5-star experience is compared to a guy who charges $5,000.
Right.
In most cases, it's very different what that experience is like for them. And so because of that disparity, I think it's just going to be something that is going to eventually it's going to just be a bunch of noise, essentially. So really what you're going to be looking for is what your friends who you can trust, what they're going to have. And so you'll have it curated that way, if at all. So sites like Yelp, as an example, I think that those they're on their last legs. I mean, I don't know any company that I know of advertises with Yelp. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I don't know anybody either.
And I think they're all fighting this right now. I mean, Wedding Wire they're always looking for advertisers. And I think at some point it's going to be, a dying breed, just like Blockbuster and some of these other ones that have been out there.
Well, I think the Knot will be fine, truthfully, because they've embraced social media so well, and they've definitely branded themselves as the authority in the wedding industry. So even if they were to dump reviews today, I don't think it's going to hurt them. Wedding Wire, however, as much as they want to say they're a planning resource, I would tend to argue that they're not. So, and I'm not being disrespectful to Sonny or anybody else, and that I don't view Wedding Wire as a place where wedding couples go to search for vendors. I think that's where they go to research the vendors that they've found. Would you say that's fair?
Well, I haven't been on their platform as a consumer, so I don't know really what their experience is like. I just know that for ones that have used the Knot, because I'm kind of in with them a lot and I do a lot of stuff with them, the feedback I get is that the tools that they have to help plan their event is great in the Knot. And so a place like the Knot, and I'm assuming Wedding Wire has got to be at least competitive.
Okay, then here's are you on next week or are you not on next week?
I think I am.
Okay. Yeah. You want to check your schedule, have your people get back to my people?
No, I'll check it right now.
So here's what I'm really curious that you say that.
I'm on.
I want you to talk to 5 of your brides that you may have recently DJ'd for.
All
right. And I'll talk to 5 of mine. And I want to find out how many of those actually utilized the tools in on the Knot or on Wedding Wire. Okay. And I'm not putting them down. Let's face it. I think that people push what they have, and if they can sell it as a feature, advantage, and benefit, then that's the case.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the tools. I'm sure that they're very well thought out. My gut tells me though, because I still see a lot of people coming in with their iPad, and more still with a 3-ring binder of some kind. That I still think a lot of it is paper. So I still think that they've got their master file, and that's that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think they want to have it at their fingertips. So
do you have your phone out at all?
I can.
By chance? We have one comment, so I thought this might be a good little thing for us. If you guys want to critique an Instagram account, I'll put mine on the chopping block.
Oh, there it is.
So type in "ever after wedding DJ."
Is that what yours is called?
That's not mine. This is somebody. We have a listener or watcher, a viewer.
Oh, who's offered it up? Okay.
Yes. So and check it out and see what you think.
Ever after, what was it?
Wedding DJ, all one word.
It's Ever After Entertainment.
Yeah.
So the question being is, my first thing right away was Ever After Entertainment taken?
I don't know.
So that would be the very first question that I have.
Yeah.
And although it's a small difference,
right?
I would, if I had my druthers, I'd rather have if the name of the company is Ever After Entertainment, I'd rather have Ever After Entertainment. And it looks like he unfortunately isn't the only After Ever Entertainment.com, because he's got a hyphen in there too. Yeah. So there's that. And again, me right away, based on the fact that he's in Rochester, Minnesota, I would do Ever After Entertainment MN, because I think people will remember the MN more so than the dash. Right. They're going to be scrambling. That's my big issue with people that use dashes in their websites.
And to that point, whatever you use, as much as you can, keep it consistent.
Right.
So whatever if the other one's gone on another platform, try as much as possible. He's saying it was taken. It's a company in Atlanta that dresses up like princesses and comes to your birthday party.
Okay.
So I just bought the one without the hyphen.
Gotcha.
As far as imagery goes, I really like it though. I feel like it shows.
So so the very first, you said, it's funny you said it. The very first pictures, he's got the bride behind the DJ booth, right?
Yeah.
Looking at that?
Yep.
He's on the mic.
Yep.
And what my eyes are drawn to immediately is the windowsill behind with glassware and a Red Bull or something. And
I guess that's different strokes for different folks. I'm kind of
it.
My eye goes to the fact that, hey, this bride's like, he's giving her a chance to be a rock star.
I get it, but here's the thing: since he asked for the critique, he could Photoshop that out instantly. That stuff up to the left.
Yep.
And again, we're just talking about tweaking it and making it one step better.
Yeah, totally.
But here's the most important. Well, a lot of these are only 22, 27 minutes old, because right now he's only got one like. Oops, something just happened. Crap. Where did I just go? I accidentally, something bumped. I blew it. What was it? Ever
After Wedding DJ.
After Wedding DJ. Here it is. I like his logo. I think that's nice. And again, he's got another one of, to me, there's nothing spectacular about this picture of people dancing, because it's what every DJ does. But
if I'm looking for a DJ in Minnesota,
except for
all right,
yeah,
I want to know that he can fill a dance floor. I don't care if it's like other DJs that have a dance floor full. I want to know that this DJ can do the same thing. I mean, there's going to be some things that are going to be across the board the same. Right.
But here's my thing.
If I'm looking at a florist, I'm going to see a floral display on a table. It's just the way it is. That's what they do.
But see, that's where I'll disagree with you. You saying I see a floral display on a table, that's to me like saying a DJ is a DJ is a DJ. I mean,
right, that's my point. It is what we do.
Looking at his pictures, the third one from the top on the right, I think is adorable. That little girl cheesing it up in the middle of the dance floor, I love it. And maybe that's me acting like a photographer. That one's got 12 likes, and so it's about a week and a half old, something like that. So that would concern me that he's only got 12 likes. So
And with that, I mean, the only thing I can think of is, I mean, I don't know where Rochester, Minnesota is, but maybe it's because of the hashtag that he's got there. Maybe he should add a couple others there, like wedding, hashtag wedding. I know it's generic, but
Right.
those are some of those ones that can come up there. I mean, I would go up to 30 would be my thing. And the other thing I would suggest too is not putting them all 30 in the initial post. Put them on as your first comment, so that way it doesn't jumble it up. And the other thing I would suggest too to him is that says having a great time celebrating with Amber and Jamie. I think you keyed in on it. That little girl having a great time. I would play off of that and do some creative writing with that a little bit. He says I think it's about creating a feeling and an emotion, and I couldn't agree more. But have your text mirror that. So anyway,
right. But here's the thing. Again, since he's asked to be critiqued, there's nothing about his Instagram page here that, to me, the most unique and different part of this entire thing is the absolute beautiful picture of his son. So congratulations.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that too.
It looks like DJ JT. He's already got his kid DJing. So congratulations to you, sir, and thank you for putting your head on the chopping block. But an example, and it's sad, and I think it's because he's got no hashtags. He posted on June 26th. He's got 4 likes, an incredible photo of a bride loving her first dance. It's the one, it looks like it's his second post ever. Do you see it all the way down at the bottom?
Yeah.
I think that's a great picture.
Right, but it had no text with it. If you look at it.
He's got no hashtags.
That's a missed opportunity, and you can go back though and edit that. I would suggest you do it.
Oh, I would definitely suggest that.
All I can say is if I looked at this feed, I would go, man, this person definitely has a great company doing great things. I mean, I see the Spartaculars there.
They're not spectaculars though.
Well, it looks like it to me. Maybe it's a Grand Exit. It is Spartaculars.
I don't believe so. I believe that they're gerbs, actually. I could be wrong.
You think
those are actual gerbs?
Okay.
And I'm guessing they're not his. He just happened to get a great picture because he's saying Happy 4th of July. We see sparks fly every Saturday during wedding season. So maybe this is a venue that has the licensing for it. Maybe he just found this photo. Again, it ties into 4th of July. So it's great. The only thing I will say too is his first post is June 26th. So we're 60 days in and he's only got 18 posts. So that to me is a little bit of weak sauce. So,
right. Yeah. Can you give us some examples of hashtags to use? So I think geographic hashtags are always good. Right. I think that has actually, they call it geotags as well as typical hashtags. So doing that is important. Best way to do it is to start typing in the search bar the hashtag that you're thinking about.
Right.
And you can see how much traction that hashtag has. So wedding DJ, if it's a destination event, destination wedding, there's if it's a Jewish wedding, put in the kind of wedding it is. There's more drilled down as you can be in that, the better, because that will allow you. Now, I would not suggest these long, crazy ones that don't make any sense. Like this wedding went on for hashtag this wedding was a rager. No one's going to be searching that. So you want to use things that people are actually going to try to find. They make it be cute and funny, but that's not going to help you in the search results, which is the reason why you would want to use hashtags in the first place.
Right.
Any comments on your side on anything?
Jody had to leave.
That's a bummer.
Ron Kronbush says, I use Virgo Video as well. That's another social media like Instagram. So I don't know where, Ron, if you're watching this, where are you from, Ron? Actually, I just looked it up. I don't know. I don't know where he's from.
Well, there was another one out there that was gaining traction for a minute too. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was another Instagram type of feed. And I think as those things pop up, it's really important.
He's in Canada, so perhaps that's a Canadian. It's just more local to Canada.
Yeah. So, but if that happens, the best thing, if you see a platform pop
in Ottawa, Canada,
grab it. Also, Instagram has this new thing called IGTV. Are you familiar with IGTV?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and Rooney G says hello. Hashtag B-Boy Brian rocks. Brian B rocks. So if you guys have never seen Rooney G, let me tell you, Rooney G rocks the decks pretty hardcore too.
There's not really one better. That guy is one of a kind. Anyway, IGTV is another one that you should definitely be taking advantage of because the notification comes up at the top, but it's their attempt to basically take on YouTube. The only trick with it is that they don't do it horizontal; they do it vertical. So that's the one little thing that's tweaked that I'm still trying to figure out how to use that. Because I mean, you're constantly always told to do it horizontal the whole time, and now to be trained to do it the other way, I just think it's such a pain.
That might make me thinner. It could make me thinner.
I'm
just cropped in like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
B-Boy Brian rocks weddings and hashtags on Instagram. Okay.
That's a great one.
That's another one. Moy wants to know, what are the chances of you getting hired with a wedding hashtag in your area when there are hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures for a wedding hashtag?
Well, that's where engagement is important. So the more engagement you have, that's why maybe you add the venue to your hashtag list. Right. So the more, and again, part of it is hashtag, but it's also got to be a great picture. So if it's an engaging photo, and that's why I try to utilize the photographer's photos as much as possible and the permanent feed. Of course, tagging them, giving them courtesy of, or
And I'll tell you, as a photographer, I'm happy to give them pictures. As a florist, we are constantly, like every quarter, we email all of the photographers because we database who we worked with.
Right.
We generally, you're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks for most photographers to post the images online. So if you go like every quarter where you're looking for pictures, they're going to be happy to do it. The last thing anyone should ever do, if you don't know, is contact a photographer like the week after and expect them to get you images. It's just not going to happen. So don't even go there. You just want to email them and say, when the Schwartz Smith wedding is online, would you mind shooting me an email?
Right.
And that's it. And then they'll give you that. And a lot of times they'll just, you can have whatever you want. So it works out great.
How often and what time of day to post? Well, that leads to something else that we did not cover, which is first, I would suggest for your business, making sure that it is a business account because it gives you all the insights to have. And that is a great indicator of when your audience is looking at your stuff because it'll literally tell you day by day what the peak time is within that day. So definitely look at that to know when to post. I mean, some of it's obviously common sense. If you're posting at 3 a.m, probably not going to get a lot of engagement, but there's specific times when it's a little bit more.
And what you might wind up getting is somebody calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning because they assume that you're up and you're slap happy. So if you're laying next to your wife or your husband doing it, you may want to rethink actually posting at 3 a.m. Because Brian knows, because when I see him up at the ass crack of dawn, I see him posting.
Yeah.
The phone call.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm an early morning riser. So.
But with that being said, one of the great things is that you can there's platforms to schedule your posts. There's a good one. I learned about this actually at a conference not too long ago. Which one was it? It was one out in Palm Springs. But NACE, Planoly. Are you familiar with that scheduling?
I'm not.
So Planoly allows.
We've used Grambler before.
Grambler for Instagram in particular.
Yeah, and it's nice because you can do it from a desktop. So you can upload pictures from your desktop, set it. The only thing with Grambler is that your computer has to be on for it to, it's scheduling it from your actual desktop. So if you don't have your desktop open and on, there's a good chance that it's not going to program it. It's not like Facebook or a blog where it's on the internet and it goes from there. That's the only bad part about Grambler.
Well, Planoly actually lays out your feed. And this is more for designers than it is DJs from the standpoint of why this is useful. But some designers like to, see their feed laid out and see how aesthetically it looks. So if they have what's great about it is you can draft it to schedule to post. You could have drafts, so you can kind of play with it to see what that feed looks like. But when it finally is scheduled, it doesn't actually post for you. It just drafts it for you. You still have to hit the publish button, if you will, to actually have it go live. But it sends you a text almost, or within their platform kind of a thing, a notification that, hey, it's time to post it. So if you're not using Planoly, it's a free, I believe free, and a good one to use. So how many times to post a day? I would say 3 minimum. If you can do 3, that's kind of the sweet spot I found.
And I'll disagree with that. I will say it's like getting on the microphone. When you have something important to say,
well, yeah,
say
that's a caveat.
So, yeah.
But I wouldn't go any more than that. I don't care if you got 10 great things to say. I wouldn't post 10 times in the day. So I would limit that to 3.
All right. So Nick Spinelli just jumped on and said, if you use a post scheduler, the Instagram algorithm knows and puts your content off people's feeds. It messes up your engagement.
Interesting.
Good tip. Yeah. So maybe the answer is just to schedule it on your iPhone to set an alarm if you really want to do it. So you set an alarm and then you do it old school. So.
And it could be. And the reality is to use your phrase, the algorithms
Why
constantly.
Why you gotta make fun of me? Do I make fun of you, Brian B. Official?
Oh, all the time. Are you kidding me? If I gotta get it in when I can. What I was gonna say is the algorithm.
Sounds like a situation for you and your wife.
The algorithm is constantly changing. So what works one week may not work the next week. It's just the way all these platforms are. So just be cognizant of it and be aware of it. But I wouldn't disagree with Nick. I have a feeling he knows it better than most. So
he's that prime millennial.
Right.
29 years old, filled with piss and vinegar, posting pictures of when he used to have a 6-pack and playing the drums with no shirt on, like he's the one-armed from Def Leppard.
Nick is Casey's man crush of the month.
What's with the man crushes? Good God!
Wow, it's just incredible. I mean, I like Nick, but I'm not like stalking his feed like that. Like apparently,
I'm not stalking his feed. He's coming up and posting on us, and you know what? He's putting it out there. Oh, I could be Brian B's news feed. Oh, I'm traveling again. Oh, look at me.
That's right.
I'm so busy. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm DJing in the water in the Poconos. I hope I don't get electrocuted.
That's right. That's interesting. It's different. It's unique.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
Danger is my middle name, as they say.
Oh, Lord. Now you just showed how old you are. That's exactly what happened.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, good. I think we've covered pretty much everything. We're right on the money here.
Right.
Any other thoughts?
I think that Brian is jealous of Nick because I appear to have a man crush on him and not on Brian. Brian, someone will meet you. Someone will admire you. It's okay.
It's all good, man.
So,
I do it for the love of the art. I don't do it for the love of people.
And Donnie Lewis just put hashtag who will Casey stalk next? Make it a trend. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Donnie. So we're at 8:59. So we will be back. My earbud keeps popping out for some reason.
That's what she said.
That her earbud pops out?
Apparently. Yeah.
Is that because your wife doesn't want to listen to you while you never mind.
Yeah.
So what do you got going this weekend? Labor Day plans?
I have it off, which is unbelievable. So I'm taking full advantage of it.
Meaning you're flying back to NYC?
Yep, tomorrow. I got one more meeting, and then tomorrow, actually 2 meetings tomorrow, and then I'm heading back, and then the madness begins. September, October is just nuts. So be a full couple of weeks, but I'll be in Dallas for the Dallas Snot workshop they have going on.
Very good.
And then there's a couple other shows. Wedding MBA is coming up.
I'll be there as well.
Yep. So that'll be a good one. The Knot Gala is coming up, which is going to be big. IMEX show. So there's just a lot of stuff coming on. And I'm actually doing a really cool event, which is it's in New York City where 6,000 people attend. And it's this one where they have a private, it's not private, but they basically don't tell you where it's going to happen until 30 minutes before. Everyone wears white. It's called the something en blanc dinner. and it's somewhere in the city, and 6,000 people go to their assigned table, which I don't even know how this is possible. And I'm doing the party for it. Like they're having a live musician during the dinner, and then after the dinner, everyone's coming. So it's my first time doing that. So that should be pretty cool.
Now, to me, like I find that to be the most annoying, stupid thing on the planet.
It's about experiences, man. Millennials, we got to get you. We got to get you off the daddy off your lawn.
I'm not done. I'm fine with that. I'm just old school, baby. I'm just old school.
Hashtag angry dad.
Yeah, I'll show you, angry dad, mofo.
Good stuff, man.
Listen, just because you can't get decent pizza anywhere you live,
man.
You didn't even have Chicago deep dish when you were here, did you?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I mean, I can't let that stuff. If it starts to infiltrate my taste buds, then it will just mess up everything. So I gotta keep it real. I don't want to taint the experience with what's amazing out there.
Keep your taint out of this. All right, folks. So you have a great holiday weekend. I'm actually DJing with my nephew. We're doing a country club event. So he's going to be in the kids' tent while I watch him spin. And then we shift over to the adult area for fireworks then. So 2 DJ setups. And so he's going to be my programmer for a while, so it should be good.
Yeah.
And, it's supposed to be 90 degrees here in Chicago this weekend, which means it'll be the last time I could probably hit the outdoor pool.
Right.
And that's it, my friend.
Cool, man.
And Owen just pointed. Okay, so Donnie said 1 hour wait for pizza. Hashtag can't be NY.
That's right, baby.
It takes an hour to get in, and then in Chicago it takes another hour for the pizza to cook. So simmer down. Take your greasy Pizza Hut crap,
God,
and go from there. Owen knows it. Lou Malnati's is it. So that's that. Delish. Right. We're gonna get you some. Don't worry. You'll sit here with your head in shame. You'll be a convert. So, all right, John, are you with us, buddy?
Yep, I am.
How you doing, John? Are you going to show your face or just your logo?
I'm doing it.
There he is. What are your big plans, John? What do you got going this weekend?
Let's see. We're going to finish putting together Michael's room because he has to now have a music studio. You know, what he had before wasn't quite good enough.
You didn't get the opportunity to meet his son in AC.
I didn't, but what Michael wants, Michael gets. Apparently, jeez,
he used to do it. He's got to put down the beats so that I can spit some rhymes.
I can't wait for that day.
You should have been walking with us, Brian.
It was
when they were
funny.
They were both going off, and
it was funny when he said, "Are you a DJ?" I go, "I'm really just more of an MC these days." So you spit bars?
Yeah.
No, I don't spit in bars. I don't spit at bars. I don't even drink at bars much anymore. So,
that's funny.
And he goes, "Oh, so you're not a real MC?" And I'm like, "Oh, wow, I just got dissed by a 16-year-old kid or a 15-year-old kid. Really? Seriously? John, teach this kid some manners." So,
yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah. No, John's son's a great kid. And so I've been spitting bars on John's wall, tagging his son in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a good young man. He spun what? You spun at the Denon booth and at the
DJNTV.
The Disc Jockey News Chill event.
Yes, and he'll be he's getting himself lined up to spin at a couple of more shows here in 2019. Really? So, yeah, this will be kind of a cool thing. When your dad is involved with something in the industry, it's a lot easier for to get into different places.
So Jason Janai's out at Mobile Beat, and your son is in. Okay,
exactly.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry, Jason. You heard it here first. Right. This is like TMZ. That's it.
Fun.
So, all right. Well, you work on your son's room. Are you working at all this weekend?
No, I am actually off until the end of September because we've got a few honey-do list things that I need to get done in September. And with my weekend handyman channel, this is the time of the year when the bugs are finally done and I can actually do some outdoor projects and video work. So we're going to be changing out a couple of doors and things on the house here in the next 3 weeks.
You're like Bob Vila.
It will be that by the end of the month. It will be.
Except Bob Vila never knew shit about that stuff. It was always Norm who did it.
Yes.
Bob Vila was like, so that's a door, right, Norm? And he'd be like, this door was from Boston in 1902.
Back when they were just...
When the Redcoats came, we gave them a beer. And they went to the party, and we closed the door behind them.
That's funny.
So you got to miss that show. What happened to Bob Vila? Alive or dead?
I think.
He's alive.
I think he's alive. Yeah, I think he's just semi-retired, and he does the circuit because was it last year, or the year before? He was at a Tool show.
Okay.
I think it was 2 years ago, maybe a little longer than that. But yeah, he had a Tool, and he went in there and he was signing autographs, and it's kind of like NAMM when there's a celebrity to sign autographs there, and they'll have a line that goes all the way around, half of the building, it seems. And Bob Vila had that type of a following, so it's pretty cool.
I waited in line for an hour to meet DJ Rooney G at the Pioneer booth.
How did that
An
go for
hour?
He took his break and left me there.
No,
I'm totally kidding. totally kidding. I did at NAMM though. I got to pee 2 urinals over from Eddie Van Halen. That was kind of interesting.
See, and I still have yet to be at one of these shows, whether it's a DJ Expo, NAMM, any of them, and really be able to say that I was like, oh, there's a celebrity and I know who that is, without someone saying, oh yeah, look over there. And it's not that I don't know who these people are. It's just like Stevie Wonder could walk by on that aisle and I'm over here.
In his defense, it's not like he can see you.
I know,
but he's like, John.
There should, there's an entourage around most of these people, and I don't even see the entourage. And maybe it's because when I see a group of people at a distance, it's like, oh, I'm going to scoot down this aisle to get to where I need to go. But
right.
I'm the sad one who never.
Here's my one and only funny NAMM story. So Gene Simmons is walking around NAMM, right?
Yep.
And I've got some friends of mine. They're younger. They were probably in their early 20s, two beautiful girls that had come over, and I was hanging out with Alan Cabasso when he is part of Gemini. So I had him meet us, and Gene Simmons came over to the area for one reason or another. I don't know why. And the two girls were beautiful, and everyone starts flocking to him, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so the girls were like, who is this guy? And he actually walked toward our direction where I was with the two girls. And I think it was just to fit his MO that he was around beautiful women. So somebody hands him a pen to sign an autograph with. And he's like, I'm not signing with this. Somebody hands him a Sharpie, right? And he signs a bunch of stuff. And then he proceeds to look at one of these 20-something-year-old girls, and he fluffs her hair and goes, oh, now you're perfect. And he proceeds to take the Sharp and he puts it in between her cleavage, right? He walks away, and she turns to me and goes, who was that? I go, Gene Simmons from the band Kiss. She goes, I don't know, but I felt like, she goes, I feel like I just got groped by my uncle.
Oh, man.
Yeah! That was that. I just about peed myself. I'm like, if he would have heard that, he would have been devastated. So, so that was that. But yeah, my funniest. But yeah, NAMM is loaded. It's everywhere. People are everywhere. John,
I have no luck when it comes to that.
you gotta stop hanging out at I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to get you in any trouble with any sponsors.
Yeah, I just
so that's all.
I'm just working the show floor too much. So
gotcha.
Already.
So next Thursday.
Yes, you guys will be back next week. We're actually full boat of shows next week.
Even Monday?
Well, Monday night. No, Monday we won't be live Monday night. But,
okay, so we're really not. So
okay.
you're already cutting corners. Look at that. The fall season just starts.
Tuesday. The fall season kicks off. Okay, is he better now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. Thursday nights must see TV.
Thursday night.
The rest of the week, folks, don't even bother.
Yeah.
You can catch it on a podcast somewhere.
Well, yeah, or you can catch the ever popular PhDJ podcast, which comes out on Thursday mornings.
Who?
Yeah.
What PhDJ? What is that, like a prescription company?
Yes,
I don't know what that is.
It helps the itch and the scratch.
The itch.
The itch.
Now, does Joe cause the itch, or is that Mike?
I think it's time to wrap up.
Is there cream involved in this? All right.
It's a salve.
Folks, you guys have an unbelievable, wow. I just caught the 2-second delay of Brian's face turning away in sheer horror. Must have been when I heard the word cream. So you guys have an unbelievable Labor Day. Have a safe weekend, folks. We will see you next Thursday. So Brian, are you up for talking to like a couple of your brides and seeing if any of them use tools? Here's the thing, not on the knot, but just any like third party. So it could be their local wedding website. It could be their so rather than saying what they're not using, let's talk to like 5 people and see what they used. Did they use old school paper? Did they download an app from somewhere?
Right.
And let's just see in a totally unscientific random study what people are doing. So
sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night. God bless. We'll see you all real soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.